What a beautiful morning. It's funny because it's like if this mass wasn't on her esophagus, she'd have more time. But since the cancer had spread to her lungs and her lymph nodes, uh, there's nothing they could do. So we have her on prednisone. Uh, I got to give it to her twice a day. They gave her some steroids yesterday, and it was to try to reduce the inflammation in her lungs so she could breathe easier to buy us just a little more time. It just as the mass is so large, and I knew something was wrong. I kept trying to. It felt like I was shooting in the dark, trying everything, X-rays, this, that, and the other, and we finally figured it out. And she's on some anti-nausea medicine, and she had a chicken smoothie this morning, and that's about all she can have is smoothies, so she can get them down. So today is really just about, or every moment I can give her is just about giving her as much of what she loves to do as possible. She her name's Ariel, like the Little Mermaid. She she's been with me for 13 years, a long, long time, which is a good run for a bigger breed. Yep, she's had parvo, hip dysplasia, pancreatitis. I don't know how many cases of giardia she's had from eating poop. She loves to eat poop for some reason, which ends up being a $200 or $300 visit to the vet. And we got about I got about $8,000 to $9,000 in her this year just to try to do everything I can to make her feel healthy. And that's a custodian. That's a big chunk of my salary. But I'd give you everything in my bank account for one more year with her. She had a pretty major surgery. We had a tumor removed that was starting to separate her shoulder. Didn't look like she was going to make it last October. A lot of people felt like maybe it's time, you know. But we was like, we're going to try this surgery, see if it works. And it did. She came to life. I got a year out of her since then. I even said, if I can get one more year, it's worth it. Then we got another year. By the end of this month, if I can get her there, we got a year. Obviously, my goal is she will not suffer. I will do the right thing. So I'm going to monitor her real closely, be in constant contact with my vet. This is not a dog that's going to suffer. She keeps looking at me like, dude, you got to suck it up, man. I'm going to be fine. Remember? All dogs go to heaven. The funny thing is, yesterday I had that appointment on the 13th, and I've been trying to get them to bump me up because I was fearful that she would choke to death before that day came, because I was really felt like every meal was life and death, and it was just getting worse and worse. And I was like, listen, I know something's wrong. So I brought her to the emergency room, but I woke up at 2 in the morning. My dad had passed a year, and I don't remember exactly what the dream is, but in the dream I woke up, and she had been sleeping out in the living room because it was just cooler, so it was as if she was trying to isolate herself from me, like they say dogs do when they're passing, they want to be alone. Well, she I had this dream, and she had died, and when I went out into the living room and I checked on her, she was no longer breathing, and she had passed while I was sleeping. So when I woke up from the dream, it was like 2 a.m. And I just kept hearing this voice that says, "You have to go today. You have to go. You can't wait any longer. Just take her to med. You have to go. You have to." So 2 o'clock in the morning, jump in the shower, get her all rallied up, and we headed to the med vet in hopes that somehow the internal medicine team would find a spot open so they could do this examination on her throat when they had no spots open. By somehow, there was a miracle and a spot opened. We drove an hour and a half to MedVet and a spot opened at 1 o'clock that afternoon. So we've been sitting in the parking lot from in and out of her exam room. They checked her, couldn't find anything obvious. Said she seems fine. They can't feel no obstructions in her throat. They were going to do a abdominal check. Said she doesn't need that. She just needs her throat checked. So they talked to internal medicine, and then they discovered that she did need her throat examined. So 1 o'clock, they took her in. They did this thing where they poured this liquid down her throat, this bile or whatever, and then the doctor called me about 2 and gave me the bad news. He said, "Jeff, I'm so sorry, but she's got a huge mass, and it's right on her esophagus, and that's why she's been choking, and it's growing so fast that we just don't that she's got maybe 2 weeks, and the steroids might give us 3, maybe 4, but we don't even know if she's got 2 weeks." So this is my dog, Ariel. This is my baby. You're daddy's everything. I love you, Ariel. Aww. Daddy loves you. You want some water? You want some water? You getting thirsty? Yeah, you getting thirsty? Ooh. So before she leaves us, I just wanted to share her with the world and tell the story of my dog Ariel. Thank you. Sorry for all the tears and the sobbing. But it hasn't even been 12 hours since, just about 12 hours since we found out. So I'm still trying to come to terms with it. Thank you for your time.